All right, so strap yourselves in for another deep dive, folks. We're going big today.
Big as a continent, you could say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're talking all things Nigeria. Specifically, we're digging into this title you hear all the time, Giant of Africa. We've got a great excerpt breaking down exactly what makes Nigeria so giant.
And let me tell you, it's not just about being the biggest geographically. There's way more to it than that.
Way more. So, first things first. Over 200 million people live in Nigeria.
Whoa, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people, more than any other country in Africa. And, sometimes I think we forget that a giant population has a giant impact.
Right, it's not just a number in a textbook. Those 200 million people make up a huge market, a massive workforce, and a powerful voice on the world stage. It's a major force in so many ways.
Okay, so we've got this huge population. Does that automatically make Nigeria influential, though? Because sometimes I feel like just having a lot of people isn't enough.
You're absolutely right. A big population on its own doesn't guarantee influence. It's what you do with it. How do you empower those people? How do you harness their skills and connect them with the rest of the world? And that's where Nigeria is really fascinating to look at.
Because it's doing a lot of things right.
Yeah.
Right, like with its economy, for example.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be surprised to learn how complex and diverse the Nigerian economy actually is. I mean, yeah, it's a major oil producer.
Everyone knows that part, right?
Right. But the thing is, a larger chunk of the population actually works in agriculture. Like, way more people are farming than working in the oil fields.
So it's about feeding a nation, too, not just fueling the global economy.
Exactly. It's a mix of the traditional and the modern, and it's all working together to make Nigeria a real economic powerhouse.
And let's not forget the culture. When I think of Nigeria, I think of this incredible energy and vibrancy. And it's going global.
Oh, absolutely. Like, Nigerian music, it's everywhere these days.
You can't escape it, which is great.
I mean, Afrobeats is just killing it internationally right now.
Totally. But it's more than music, too, right? Like, what about Nollywood?
Ah, Nollywood, it's seriously impressive.
I mean, more films than Hollywood each year. That's wild.
Yeah, they're a major player in the global film industry. And what I love is how they're sharing Nigerian stories, culture, and perspectives with the whole world.
Yeah. It's not just entertainment. It's like this window into another culture. It's like this amazing blend of being distinctly Nigerian and yet relatable to anyone, anywhere.
Totally. It shows that being a giant isn't just about size or economics, it's about cultural impact, too.
All right, so we've covered population, the economy, culture.
Yeah.
But Nigeria also takes on a big leadership role in Africa, doesn't it?
Definitely. It's super active in organizations like the African Union, working on all sorts of things from diplomacy to peacekeeping missions. It's really at the forefront of tackling those big continental challenges.
So it's not just a giant at home, it's a giant on the continental stage, too.
Exactly. It's stepping up and taking responsibility, working to make the whole continent a better place.
Okay, so to sum it all up, we've got this massive population, this diverse and booming economy, this incredibly rich culture going global, and this active leadership role across the continent. All those things make Nigeria the giant of Africa, and honestly, that title is well-deserved.
It definitely lives up to the name. But it's important to remember that this is an ongoing journey for Nigeria, not just some static endpoint.
That's a great point. It's a story that's still being written. So here's what we want to leave you with today is the Giant of Africa title, The Whole Story. Or are there other angles to consider? Like, what challenges is Nigeria facing? What role do other African nations play in shaping the future of the continent? There's so much more to explore here, and we hope this deep dive has inspired you to keep digging.
There are so many fascinating stories within the larger story of Africa. We're just scratching the surface here.
Exactly. So keep those curiosity rockets fueled up, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.
See you then.